Hello and welcome to the first ever episode of the Control Zone video game podcast. This is the first ever time we've done this, so this might never get uploaded. And if it does, then apologise in advance for the randomness. But hopefully this will be a regular thing. It's basically a podcast about video games, obviously, old retro games and new games as well. So let me introduce myself very, very quickly. I'm Rob, and my co-host is
Ricky.
Hello.
Rob, take it. Right. So Rob, tell us how we can find you online. What's your codes? Tell us your gamer tags and.
Yeah, no worries. Well, I'm on Xbox Live under the gamer tag Z-Killer-Frog, which is ZE space, not underscore, ZE space KILLA space frog. And you can also find me on Twitter and YouTube under the username PredaKing79, which is PREDAKING79. And what about your good self?
Well, I'm going to ask you a question there. I'll tell you about me.
Yeah.
Why Z-Killer-Frog? Tell us about that. I can't. You may have told me once or twice in the past.
Well, Z-Killer-Frog, basically, when I was back in college, back in the day, about 15 odd years ago, we made a college film, which was a remake of The Warriors, the 1979 classic.
Yeah, go on.
And there was a character in that which was basically a puppet called Z-Killer-Frog, and that's why.
Right, okay. You're a puppet Xbox Live, but what's PredaKing then? How come?
Well, PredaKing's basically PredaKing is a transformer, and as I'm sure you know, I'm a bit obsessed with all things 80s and anything 80s related, and especially Transformers. And PredaKing is a Transformer. So.
Or 80s related women, right? Okay, yeah, cool. Bloody hell, I never knew that. I don't really do Transformers.
No.
So I've not. Other with that, right? Okay, so mine's really easy because I'm Ricky32 on Xbox Live, PlayStation Network, and on Steam. So RIKKI32, all three. That's where you can find me. Okay, so nice and easy.
I should really change all my usernames to the same one, but
it does.
I was going to do that on Xbox. Actually. A couple of days ago, and you have to fucking pay to do it. You have to pay £6.50 to change your bloody gamer tag.
Yeah, but they've always charged. I remember once. Now I don't know if it was cheaper or whether they had like a free amnesty weekend. They maybe messaged everyone and said, look, this weekend because of some event, or probably they had a service outage or a password privacy breach. They allowed everybody to change.
I never got the sort of logic behind the fact that you have to pay.
No, it is stupid, isn't it?
So, but anyway.
But it's because you love your game of sport. That's why.
Yeah. Well, I might change my at some point change my Twitter and my YouTube to Z-Killer-Frog. You know, I might be easier. Z-Killer-Frog came before PredaKing79, so.
Yeah. Yes. Seen that as well. So.
Yeah. But for those of you who, if anyone's actually listening to this, who knows? Maybe someone will one day. I'm more into sort of my retro gaming stuff, and you're kind of into a bit of everything, aren't you?
Yeah, kind of. I've been playing games since blimey. I remember having an Atari. I don't know if it's a 2600 or 2100. Have the cartridge, you stick it in the top, you press a button, and up pop Pong. It was that great, and I remember having I think it was Moscow Olympics.
Yeah.
As a licensed game on the Atari, and that was 1980. So.
Wow.
Yeah, and that was just fantastic. And then I think Super Breakout, so kind of like that era. So yeah, I am retro, and I have been playing for 30 years, I reckon.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Oh my god. 30 years. Jeez. First time I really admitted it. I feel like we're at AA. So, yeah, it's
Yeah.
and of course, yeah. And what? How long have you been playing? What have you been?
Well, yeah, I suppose. I mean, that's a good place to start, isn't it? Our sort of.
Yeah.
I got into gaming. Well, my first ever console or first ever games machine was a Commodore 64, which I got. I think that was probably about 88, 89. So the first sort of computer parents got was a C64, and you still love playing like Dizzy and Golden Axe, and it must have been 89 and if Golden Axe, and then early 90s got a Mega Drive, and sort of went from there really.
Right.
So 16-bit era was where I really sort of got into games more. I had a SNES as well. I sort of missed the 8-bit era. So like a lot of people are really nostalgic for like
NES and that.
Yeah, the NES, the NES. But I never had one. Kind of
The game. What was it? What was the Sega version? Was it the Master?
the Master System. Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of missed that. I wonder what we were doing.
Because I was just too young. I was still playing with toys and stuff. Well, I still am now. Yeah, I collect vintage toys, people. Yeah, I'm a Superman.
All right. So, yeah, I wonder what this era. I wonder how many other people kind of skipped that 8-bit era. I wonder if it was. I don't know. Was it not?
I think the 16-bit era was a sort of jumping on point for a lot of people because that's the NES was the breakthrough machine, but a lot of people sort of the early 90s when video games became much more accessible for consoles. The Mega Drive and the SNES, they were dominant for 5 or 6 years.
Yeah.
We got the first PlayStation, so
That's true.
So that's my era. That's what I love. I'm really really into my 16-bit games, and I've had consoles ever since. I've never had never been one to buy everything that comes out machine wise, but I've always had a machine since, and 360 is where I'm at the moment.
Yeah, and of course I suppose now like myself, I missed that 16-bit era, and then I managed to get a Mega Drive for Christmas one year.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a Christmas day. I had Hedgehog, NHL, first one, Madden, and even my dad was playing Sonic on that day because it was a big event for him.
Yeah.
If I remember, I wanted one. I think I got it about a year after it come out. It wasn't very early, and the year before I wanted one, and my mum said, "Well, you never know," like that a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
It got me really excited, and then on the night before, this present appeared under the tree that was a box shaped exactly like the Mega Drive box.
Yeah.
Only to find out Christmas morning, as I ripped it open, I'd already bought a game, which I had for a little while actually.
Yeah.
And before I actually eventually got one, I think it was Sonic the Hedgehog that I bought. It was a friggin' toolbox.
Oh no!
And that wasn't the end of my. That wasn't the first Christmas disappointment that I ever had because. Oh my god, I sound such a twat here, but back in when the Spectrum and the Commodore 64 were dominating, those eras, I really wanted a Spectrum.
Yeah.
It was 128K with the built-on tape deck, and and Christmas list time came along. I don't know how old I was. It must have been about 12, 13 or something. Young enough not to be able to afford one, but old enough to want really expensive things.
Yeah.
I said, that's what I want. And then I was told as I was opening my first present that your main present hasn't arrived because it didn't come on. It got ordered, but it didn't get delivered in time.
Mm.
So you can open this and this kind of like will also lead into my life nowadays. You can open this. It's to go with your present, but obviously your main bit isn't here. Now, I wanted a Spectrum 48K with a tape deck on the side. When I opened it, they bought me some blank cassettes.
Right.
You know the
90
minute TDK or something like that, yeah?
Yeah.
Well, fucking yes, right, I'm getting a Spectrum. And then I'm kind of thinking to myself, but what are the blank tapes for? I know there's a tape deck on it, but obviously they led me into a life of piracy. Where it leads me on to. And it turned out that the main present was an alarm clock with a tape recorder on it, so I can record the video. So you can see I've led a life of disappointment.
Yeah. Well, I've got a little story about the Mega Drive, like how I came about mine, because it was a Christmas present. But basically, me and my brother, we'd gone to the park with my dad in the car, and we'd gone back to the car, and my dad was, I don't know, he'd gone to the loo or something, and we were in the boot putting the football away, and there was this like rug over with something underneath it in the boot. And we're like, oh, it's a bit weird. What's that? Like a box. When we looked underneath, and there was a Mega Drive in its box. This was about, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 weeks before Christmas. So we were like, oh my god. But, we're both like really, really excited. And then we're like, oh, but what if they find out that we've been looking? We found it. Then we might not get it. So we didn't. We stayed completely stum and didn't say anything. And then when we opened it on Christmas Day, we both like pretended that we didn't. We got really excited. I mean, we generally were excited because it was a chance to actually play it. But we had to go, oh my god, And that was with Altered Beast.
What it's blimey.
Yeah, well, it was before Sonic had come out, so that's how long ago it was. Yeah.
Obviously, as it's kind of we're in the run up to Christmas, it's very topical talking about disappointment, and obviously in my side, and happiness in yours. One Christmas, my dad used to hide my presents up inside the loft hatch. Early December one year, I found some Spectrum games that he would obviously planned to give me. I think one of them was called Combat School, very old game on the check it out on YouTube if you don't know what it is. Kind of a bit like Daley Thompson's Decathlon, but set on the first hour and a half of Full Metal Jacket.
Right.
Okay, like in a combat school, preparing to go to war, You had to do all these obstacle courses and shoot.
Nice family game then.
Yeah, but I don't. Yeah, ending part of it where you. But of course, I found it and I've been playing it for about 3 weeks.
Do you have to suck a golf ball through a garden hose at one point?
So come Christmas morning, I load it up and I've already got a save file for it. So in it for a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
You want to play that? Oh, no. Yeah, great, cheers. So anyway.
Well, as we've gone off on a tangent already, which is quite impressive. So to all first-time listeners, this is kind of how it's going to go. But if I just say sort of what the format of the podcast is going to be, yeah?
Yeah, go for it, yeah.
What we're basically going to do is we're sort of talk about some of the games that we've been doing in the last week or so, games that we've been playing and stuff that we've been up to, sort of video game related. We'll do a bit of news, and I'm going to sort of do the sort of retro gaming news, stuff from back in the day that something's maybe happened recently, like I don't know, anything retro gaming related. And you're going to do sort of the more up to date news, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm going to try. Yeah.
Yeah. And then we'll have a little spotlight of a game, and we're going to talk about one this week. And you're going to sort of also go through like tech tips and any bargains or anything up and coming that most wanted sort of thing, aren't you?
Yeah. Sweet.
So yeah. So that's kind of how the format's going to go, but I'm sure we will drift off from time to time. But before we get started, what have you been up to this week, Ricky? What have you been up to?
Well, up to this point, right? Okay. So a very quick piece about myself. I travel. I'm a traveller. No, I for my job I have to travel all over Europe, and I'm currently sat in a hotel in Moscow. doing this podcast. And last week I was in Ireland, so all my weekend was consumed with getting home and travelling here. So kind of, if we sort of put the weekend as a point where I started, it was being mostly travelling to Russia and getting over the sleep time zone difference because we're 4 hours ahead.
4 hours, yeah.
And this is very typical for my job to go wherever I'm kind of told to go, which is fine.
Yeah.
Enjoy it very much, but of course, being a gamer on the move, it has changed my gaming habits, which I kind of come into, and they do reflect my sort of my recent playing habits, which, as you can probably see on the list that you can see in front of you, Rob, but I'll talk about that in a bit.
Yeah, yeah.
So of course, it leads me to sort of think about, what like this week, sitting on a plane, mostly full of businessmen who are, on their little laptops and reading papers and doing things, and I'm playing Pokemon on a on a PSP, So it's, because it feels almost, in a way, sometimes that I might as well just sit there with my cock out, basically, because people are looking at me rather. Just like,
yeah, we don't talk about those games on this podcast.
a different ball game, that is, isn't it?
Yeah.
So it's basically, I've been trying some not much console gaming, obviously due to not being able to take it away from home. It's obviously so. That's kind of what I've been doing, and really most of the time I've been sort of just prepping and researching a bit for this. So it's joyous fun that we're experiencing right now.
Okay.
Yeah. So what about you, mate?
Well,
tell us your job, or have you got to keep it private?
No, we don't want to talk about my job. It's very boring. But I do work sort of random shifts, and I work night shifts now and then. I've been doing nights over the last few days. So I've been, sort of when I've been off during the day, and I'm not going to sleep. That's a sort of often a lot of time I do my gaming is during the daytime rather than the evening. So when I'm on sort of Xbox Live and stuff, it's quite often I'm not speaking to UK gamers because quite often people are at work or at college or whatever when I'm online. So a lot of the time it's playing against sort of American gamers and stuff. Although I haven't played Xbox Live much recently because my gold membership expired.
No.
And I just haven't got around to renewing it, to be honest. But I will be doing that soon when I talk about what games I've been playing.
Yeah.
Because there's a couple on there where you really need to be back on live. It's still I was moaning earlier about the fact that you have to pay to change your gamer tag, and it still annoys me that you have to pay for Xbox Live because it's so fundamental part of the console. It should just be, you don't play for the PlayStation online, do you?
No, I don't. But I do play Xbox Live as well, which drop in a hat if one of my kids would let me.
Yeah.
A minute. So.
Yeah. No, that's.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've been working a lot. I mean, as I say, we've both got kids, haven't we? So they keep us busy. But my two are a bit too young to get into gaming yet. Although my eldest is going to be 5 after Christmas, so she might.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, she might start playing. I tried to get her into play a bit of Streets of Rage the other day. So spoiler for later, but
Streets of Rage, you might have it.
Yeah, that's right. It's better than 2 players. So other than that, I've been working and so along with gaming, I collect old toys, vintage toys. When I say vintage toys, I don't mean sort of dinky cars and wooden yo-yos and stuff. It's all stuff from the 80s. So I've been picking up a few bits and bobs. A few old Masters of the Universe figures, if you remember that.
Actually, I saw something the other day that who was it? Goodness, Mattel
Mm-hmm.
that had the He-Man
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
Apparently, it was only created because they turned down the Star Wars.
that's true. That is true.
Amazing.
Yeah, they missed. That's got to be one of the biggest
Yeah.
toy cock-ups ever. Is turning down Star Wars and giving it to Kenner in the end. And yeah, they developed He-Man Masters of the Universe
Yeah.
as their own one. But this isn't a toy podcast, so I won't go off tangent. I'll try not to. But that's my other big thing is collecting old toys. So I have been doing some of that as well. But yeah. So what have you been? What games have you been playing this week then?
Well, okay. So here we go. So I've got a bit of a list, and some of it I have, and some of it I'm only up to being able to watch. So, obviously due to my travels. Now, the first thing that's kind of like I'm a bit late to the show here is Minecraft. Okay.
Oh.
And I don't know if you know it very well. You probably heard it. I don't know.
I know the game. I mean,
Yeah.
a couple of our mutual friends, Jade and Si, are massively into it, and they're always going on about it whenever I see them, trying to get me into it. But I've never played it myself.
Yeah. Okay.
Is it as good as people say?
It's okay. So about a year and a half ago, maybe a bit longer, we bought it on the Xbox 360.
Yeah.
And I quite enjoyed it. I thought I appreciate it. It's what you got to do. You just got this sandbox of do what you want. But that's where the problem lies because I'm not very imaginative.
Yeah.
I want to break a hole and see how deep I can, and then if it moves, hit it. So and then you make it's like when I get Lego when I was a kid. Oh, let's build a house. Oh, great! Let's break it again. So it's kind of a bit like that. Now it has a very good sort of night and day cycle. Whereas during the day, you must build, get your resources, and in the first couple of days, you've really got to build yourself a small house because at night the zombies come out. Kill you. So you've got to be inside your house, and it's very funny because you can see this green zombie thing that will explode if it gets near you, poking its head like through the window, trying to get in, and it kind of like it's like I suppose it's almost like a Dalek. It can't really go upstairs. Well, I suppose it can, but it kind of can't really go through the wall or anything. It's
right.
Bizarre. So I kind of I've been playing a little bit, and my world has been the imaginative world of others. Whereas we got it on the PC as well, and that's where modding comes in. So people make maps and do mods for it, and really expand the game into kind of areas. I mean, like there's a Far Cry 3 map,
Right.
phenomenal. There's like Sonic maps, Mario maps. There's an Assassin's Creed map, and these are worlds, and you can do adventures in them. And there's some, and so lately, last week at the weekend, they released. I don't know if it was at the weekend, but because I was away, so I saw it at the weekend. It's a Skyrim mod for the Xbox version.
Yeah.
Now it's the Xbox version that my kids who are 5 and 7.
Yeah.
And this is poor parenting kicking in here. Between them, on my Xbox profile, put in nearly 300 hours of gameplay on Minecraft.
Wow.
Yeah. When you think that game cost about £7 or so, maybe it's about a tenner. The value for money they've had out of it is phenomenal. So managed to get it on both their Xboxes, and they were having a whale of a time just playing like the Skyrim mod on Minecraft. so for me, from a personal point of view, I don't really get it. I played it. I kind of thought, it's all right. But to the young and people with time, I can really see how they would gain something from it in terms of just building. And you give it to I went up to my son the other week, and he was just walking around his bedroom, staring at me. And I said, "What's that? Why aren't you playing?" He goes, "Oh, I'm just cooking some coal to make some sort of smell." He used the word smelting. That's right.
Well, it increases their vocabulary. Nothing else.
Smelting because I'm 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 doing some blacksmithing or something. And
Yeah.
I think, hang on, you're frigging 7. So yeah, it's expanding their vocabulary to these words. They can't spell. You can't spell shopping or something like that in a school test, but you can spell bloody smelting. So yeah, Minecraft. I mean, I don't really, I'd recommend it if you like that sort of thing. But
the thing with me is, I've never been a massive one for sandbox games that that open ended. I mean,
I find GTA a problem personally as well. But
yeah, I haven't got GTA 5 yet, and obviously it's been out a couple of months now. I will get it at some point, but I tend to get bored quite quickly. I mean, one of the games I've been playing, I'll talk about in a bit, is a sandbox game, and it's a great game, but it's just, I don't know, you have to kind of motivate yourself. I think the only game like that where I've really kind of invested loads of time into it is Skyrim and Oblivion prior to it. But even they're not really sandbox games because, well, okay, they are because there's lots that you can do, but you are still sort of tied to the main quests, and you have distinct missions where you have to complete. I think I'm just a bit old school when it comes to games. I like to know. I kind of like the whole sort of level format of games where you do a level, you fight a boss, you go on to the next level.
Yeah. I see. Yeah. No, I know what you mean. So yeah, so Minecraft on the PC. Been playing it a little bit. Think kids love it. Move on. Okay, so my next game has come out of because I'm as I mentioned earlier, I really got into Steam and that's the PC version. I'd say it's kind of like the PC's competitor to PlayStation and Microsoft.
Yeah.
Because it's owned by Valve, which made Half-Life and I think
Half-Life. Yeah.
Own Half-Life, and then they've done Portal as well. And the accessibility to bargains, and I'll talk about a little bit later about the amazing bargains at the moment on PC. So I picked up Fallout 3 Game of the Year edition for £3.
That's insane.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I actually picked out Fallout New Vegas Game of the Year edition for £3 they were having a sale a couple of weeks ago. I haven't played the New Vegas version because I actually own both on the Xbox, but I kind of like the accessibility to the fact that I can play it at home, play it when I'm on my travels, and the modding aspect that comes with Fallout on the PC because you can actually make it look better than console gaming. I know you need some power behind you, which luckily I have. Laptop.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
No, that's cool. No, I was just at this point, I don't do PC gaming. I've never have. I just don't know. Never been something that's interested me. I've always been a console person. So it does impress me some of the stuff that the PC can do, PC gaming can do. But it's just not something that I'll probably ever invest in, really.
Yeah, well, I think a lot of the time, a lot of the reasoning for my slight move to this genre, I think it's come about. You think about games that we own at the moment on Xbox Live and all the arcade games.
Yes.
They're going to be obsolete on that machine soon. I think I have Trials HD and all the great Xbox Live arcade games. They're not transferring over, so in order to keep them, you've always got to keep an Xbox 360 knocking around. Whereas a lot of those games that I bought on Xbox Live are available on the PC. So, and if you think about it, as we move on and things move on, we're always going to have a PC, I think. So it means that game will remain.
Sure. I mean, I would hope, because we'll talk about next gen stuff later. But I would hope that a 360 will get will have more of longevity than perhaps the original Xbox did when the 360 came in. I think a lot of people won't upgrade straight away. Well, we'll talk about that later, I suppose.
Yeah. So anyway, so I played Fallout 3, and of course, this time around, I know the story. I've already completed it once, which is a miracle for me because I never complete games. But really sat down with that one, and I didn't use a guide either. So I thought to myself, well, okay, well, I've got some time on the road. I'm going to give it a whack, and I did, and I started playing it, and I absolutely bloody loved it again. It was really, really good. So I've got. Did you ever play it?
No. Well, yes, I did play it, but only for a very limited time. I think it was I rented it from Blockbuster or something years ago. With the intention of sort of trying it before I bought it, and then never got round to buying it. And it's on my to-do list.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Obviously, I mean, if you wanted to borrow it, mate, I've got it on my own.
Yeah.
I haven't cracked out Fallout 3 on the Xbox 360 for a couple of years, and if I wanted to play it, I'm going to play it on my PC version. So next time, I've got both of them.
Yeah.
So
I will take you up on that. I think
pretty good, and it has the fact that you can modify it to make it look slightly better as well with lighting effects and stuff like that. It just kind of takes as PC sort of graphical capabilities improve, and you can swap in and out the cards for £100, and it keeps £150 graphics card really allows you to have as much power as at least the PS3 360, at least, and even way beyond that, and not quite. I don't know if it's you might have to spend a couple of hundred, maybe up to £500 to get it in the region of a PS4, perhaps. But don't really do that much new style gaming anyway. Yeah, Fallout 3, great game, loved it, loved the world, just loved the ambience of it, the fact that you just. And one thing I also love the music. Do you ever hear it? It's just so timeless, that sort of stuff. And
to be honest, I played it when it first came out, and what was it? Came out 2008, was it? Something like that. I really can't remember a great deal about it. All I can remember is the first scene where you're a kid learning to walk. I can't really remember much else after that. So yeah, I definitely need to give that a go.
And it's as well, and all the DLC for £3, mate. £3.
Yeah, that's amazing.
You loved it. Okay, so the next game, because we were well up to date with what we played, it was Batman Arkham City. Bought as part of a bundle deal on a website called Humble. I think it's called Humble Bundle. Let me move you out of the way. I've got it here on the. Let me just click there and there. It's called Humble Bundle. Now, every couple of weeks, they do a humble bundle.
Right.
And it's basically pay what you want. Okay.
Okay.
What did I get at the time? If I wanted Batman Arkham Asylum, a couple of Fear games, Fear 2, Fear 3, and Lord of the Rings. It was a Warner Brothers, so it was loads of Warner Brother games. There were about 9 of them in total. And I think it was, if you pay $1, you can have like 6 games. And if you pay more than $5, you get these. I got Batman Arkham City as well as Scribblenauts, which is more for the kids. But the key thing is, I think I paid $4.66, which gave me the extra games. So that equates to what? £3.50, something like that, yeah?
Yeah.
£3.50. I managed to get Batman Arkham Asylum, Game of the Year edition.
Yeah.
Batman Arkham City, Game of the Year edition. So I played Arkham Asylum for £3, mate. Just over £3. I got all these fantastic games.
Those are 2 very, very good games. I've had both of them on the 360 and completed both of them. Not 100% find every ridiculous little Riddler token, but played the main game through, done most of the main missions. Brilliant games. Both. I look forward to. Are you going to get the new one? Arkham Origins?
I'm not seeing too many good reports about it. Most people said
No.
they peaked at City, and the Origins has gone a little bit off. It's a good game, but they say because the others are so good, it doesn't look as good in comparison. So
It'll be something I pick up at some point. I mean,
one day.
One day. I mean, I don't. I never pay full price for a game. I never get a game when it first comes out because I'm a skinflint and I just resent paying 40 quid for a game. And normally I'll wait 6 months or so and pick up a game, cheap for 15, 20 quid or even longer. I bought one of the games I'll talk about in a bit, Red Dead Redemption. Bought that for £5 on a 360, and that's an awesome game. I'll talk about that in a bit. But Arkham City, brilliant.
I never played it. I never kind of because whatever reason just didn't get around to even playing it. So I started up, looked absolutely fantastic. I kind of run out of time and shouldn't be getting.
You need a lot of time to play it. I mean, it is going back to sandbox games. It is very open world. I think I preferred Arkham Asylum just because it was a bit more sort of confined and
gory.
Arkham City is
open, isn't it?
Just a bit too big.
Yeah.
And they've tried to cram in almost every single Batman villain into it, and it's it's cool, but it's just like, okay, you're just really trying to cram everybody into it for the sake of it almost.
Exactly.
But it is great. They are both really good games, but I think I always preferred Arkham Asylum just a little bit more.
Yeah. So I'm loving it. It's really good, but I need to give it more time. And of course, as I'm doing Fallout 3,
you've got two epic games there. Yeah.
just because I kind of I've played Fallout 3 before, so I might give a little bit more attention to Batman. But we'll wait and see what happens. So my next game is as you get to know Rob and I over the years, we are a fairly big. I'm a massive football fan. Rob's a big football fan, and when it comes to video game football, oh my god, I've been. Someone may remember this. I used to write back to the days of the VIC-20 and games like Football Direct. Watching effectively CFAX. Well, what was CFAX back in the day?
Thanks, yeah.
Sit there and watching CFAX for 4 hours. It's just amazing. But so of course, Pro Evolution Soccer 2014 is a game that I've been playing quite solidly since it came out in November, and it's quite solidly been broken since November as well. I mean, it was terrible. It was a massive leap in graphics engine that they had this year, Rob.
Right, yeah.
I don't know if you've seen it.
I haven't got FIFA or Pro Evo yet.
No, I haven't got FIFA, but the Pro Evo is fantastic, and but it's so glitchy. And there was just an update recently which fixed a lot of faces. Like they had they had the Man United player Raphael, is it?
Raphael, yeah.
He looked like he'd been slashed with a sledgehammer on the top of it. And he had a skinhead. So it's completely not him, and some of the faces were ridiculous. A lot of generic faces. So the patch updated some of the gameplay and made it much better, more smoother, and fixed a lot of the faces, so we're not so generic looking. so it's much better, and it's very good. I mean, if that was the one game that was out of the map, I think it's better than current. Well, when I say current gen.
360 and
the gen FIFA. I think it's got the edge over it.
I mean, I was always Pro Evo over FIFA all the way up until maybe about 2 or 3 years ago. I remember playing International Superstar Soccer Deluxe on the SNES and the N64, and then that morphed into Pro Evo, didn't it? And I was always Pro Evo because it just played better. I didn't really care about the license kits because you could customize, your own team, couldn't you, and edit kits and stuff. But FIFA sort of the gameplay caught up two or 3 years ago, and I haven't bought Pro Evo. I think PES 2008 was the last Pro Evo I had. So
they were terrible. You know, there's only the last couple of PESs, 13 and 14, that have been anywhere near perfection.
Yeah.
I have 14 and I have it incredibly customized to the point where they've actually created leagues that never existed in the original version.
Right.
And my version of Pro Evo 13 has got 350 stadiums in it, fully patched up and everything. So.
And you're obviously running on that on the PC, yeah?
Yeah, exactly. You could never do this on the. I think Stadium, but they took that out of this year's version. And this year's version is graphically the best, but I think 13 had the best gameplay, and this year's a bit stuttery. So anyway, they had an update. It was okay, but I'm being pulled away, and I haven't played FIFA 14 on the PS4 yet. Fingers crossed for when I get home, because we'll see. I'm really not home until Christmas week.
Yeah.
I pop home to change the underwear, but other than that, I'm on the road again as soon as I get back in a couple of weeks from Russia.
So
I've had to catch up on a lot of footage on YouTube of FIFA 14 on the PS4. And holy shit, mate! I am now. When you look at when you put the two of them side by side, and you got that drawn out distance from the camera, and you're playing FIFA, you couldn't part. But when it's slow, when there's replays, and when you zoom in, jeez, the replays of some of the goals are delicious. Oh God,
delicious!
They're incredible. The sort of smoothness. They've really slowed the replays down. In fact, they've gone Pro Evo on the replay, because Pro Evo had some pretty good replay functions. 2 or 3 versions of the goal. One of them was super slow, right down to one of them that you can control with the camera. And whereas FIFA has always been, here's the goal, bang, let's start another, let's kick off,
Yeah.
And sometimes, very rarely, but occasionally on FIFA 13, you never even got a frigging replay. You score a goal and kick off. So they don't. Pro Evo's always had the attention to detail, always had the atmosphere, the stadium, and I really, if you love your football games, Rob, you should check out some of the footage on YouTube for the FIFA 14 on next gen. It is incredible. It's gonna, it's on my list. Hopefully, maybe Pro Evo 15 can use the next gen technology and really take it.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see. As I say, I
Great.
haven't got either of the 14 games yet.
To be honest with you, I probably wouldn't bother unless you see it cheap somewhere. But you're not missing anything.
No.
If you were lucky enough to get anything next gen, then maybe probably wait.
We'll talk about that a little bit later.
Okay. So so that's it. So I haven't played FIFA 14, but I've seen the videos, and I'm just lubing up every time I press play, because they're giving me a rock on there. That's really fucking great, Impressed. Oh shit, are we allowed to swear?
Of course we can swear. We just have to put advisory on when it goes on iTunes. If it goes on there. Yeah, no, we can't really talk for an hour or two without swearing. So
60 seconds. Okay, the next game is an old one again, but it's not old, but it's picked up on another bundle from Steam. The Humble Bundle.
Yeah.
Everything on Steam, and it's actually still available. It's this week's Humble Weekly Sale, and I picked up Pinball FX 2 and 20 tables for £3.88. Okay,
nice.
So that's all their Steam Classic packs, Core packs, Star Wars packs, Marvel packs, Avengers packs. Now I never bought the Star Wars or the Marvel stuff on the Xbox, so to get all of it up for less than one table on the Xbox, and it's the same game, because I play a few games with the PS3 controller, so to me it doesn't really. And then I've plugged the PC into the telly, voila.
I don't know if it's just me, but I've never really got that idea of pinball games on a console. I mean, obviously, no one can afford or has the space to have a pinball table in the front room, but
and you can't these tables because there's things flying around the bloody room.
Yeah, exactly. But I don't know. It's never a genre. Even when I was a kid, it was never a genre that appealed.
No,
I remember.
because the pinball tables always cost a little bit more than I think they might lean a bit like that. The machine was 10p.
Yeah.
Pinball game was 50 or something like that, and then I could never really see what the fuck was going on.
Yeah, I never appealed. You know, like you say, going to an arcade and you're gonna stick a 10p and play Street Fighter 2, or
or play
pinball. It's just the console always games always won. But
they've massively improved on it is incredible. It is a joy to play. I'll tell you when I play it, and this may sound odd. I play it when I'm trying to think of something else to play. Do you know what I mean? I used to stick the Xbox on and think, what should I play? I've got lots of games, lots of boxes.
Yeah.
So let's play a bit of pinball and have a think, because you can just kind of brainlessly go bang, 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 bang.
Yeah.
I don't really think about it, but of course the Pinball FX 2 tables, they've got adventures on them, and you've actually got quests and things you've got to do. So they've massively improved it. I picked it up for less than £4, mate. 20 tables.
That does sound like a bargain, even though I don't like pinball games, but it does sound like a bargain.
Yeah, you can't dismiss it. Anyway, Pinball FX 2, I've absolutely loved it forever, and it's a great game. Cool. My last game I've been playing this for a couple of weeks now, and it's Football Manager 2014. So obviously this is a PC game, because you can't get any other. I think you can get it on the Mac, not too sure. So, I hadn't played a Football Manager game for a couple of years, and it's that kind of game because they allow you to save to the cloud your saves. So I can jump from on the road travel to playing it at home, save it to the cloud, pick up the save, and off I go again. So it's a game. It's a great ability to do that, which is fine. So it's Football Manager. If you've ever played one, it's as it is. The game engine is really shit. To go from the text across the screen, didn't it? Remember the old days? You have dot 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 goal or shoots dot 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 over the bar. So it was very gripping stuff. Trust me, it sounds as dull as dishwater, but it was really good. And
again, something I've not really ever got into, I'm afraid.
Massive following for this, and
of course, yeah.
And obviously, it's my version. I've completely modded my version. I've got stadiums in it, and pictures of players which don't come with the original badges, competition logo. Really specced it out, and it's a really joy to play it. So it was a good database to find out who plays for who.
Yeah.
It's like watching the BBC sort of website a lot of the time, which is my live on as well. The game engine to watch the matches is shit. It's going on and it's okay, but the real joy comes outside of actually the match. The whole preparation and just tinkering around with spreadsheets basically. But so I've been playing a lot of that. And an interesting thing I read the other day about Football Manager 2013 was it had over 10 million illegal downloads of the game.
Really?
They put in some sort of coding that allowed them to track
track the down. That's wow.
To see who had an original copy and where it was downloaded from and how it got on the machine. I don't know how they did it. And I'm in Russia at the moment, and the bloody capital of piracy.
Yeah.
People talking to me about whatever, and one of the downloads of Football Manager 13 came from the Vatican.
Oh wow!
Pope loves Football Manager, mate.
Pope does.
Probably playing the Italian league, but we'll let him off. Anyway,
the Pope's not playing full price for his games. He'll get a bargain if he can.
We could give him a little ring. So I'll endorse it. So Football Manager 14. I will be playing that pretty much all year and all the way into next year. I'll dip in and out of it. I'll let you know I'm going. I'm actually playing the Southampton, mate.
Yes, that is my team, of course. Yes. Doing rather well this year.
Right, it's actually my team on the road.
Yeah.
I can't explain
who's your real team now? Come on, don't mind.
But they're my first love. But I have because we both live in Southampton, so I have a following them. I must.
Affiliation.
I've got a secret soft spot for them now, and especially as they're near the top.
They are. Well,
no, but anyway,
fifth as we're at the moment. So.
Yeah, it's having a good year. Good year. Oh, won't talk about the England away days, will we? So,
no.
In we start losing, but there we go. I'm done. Just tell us about what you've been playing then.
Cool. Yeah. What have I been playing last week or two? Well, mentioned it just a bit earlier. Red Dead Redemption on the 360, which I picked up for a £5 from CEX.
Yeah.
Not so long ago, and I've only sort of had a chance to sort of play it in a bit more depth in last week or so.
Have it before? Is this the first time you've owned it and played it?
It is the first time I've owned it and played it, yeah.
Oh.
So obviously the game came out 3 years ago, but just never got it. As a lot of games from the 360 which I intend to go around and playing, I haven't missed them when they first came out. So. You see, I could have played it 3 years ago and paid 40 odd quid for it, and I'm playing it now for a £5, and it's a great game. The graphics of.
Have you been online with it yet at all?
I haven't yet. No. I'm playing. Going through the missions and stuff, and obviously it's a sandbox game like Grand Theft Auto, but it's just it plays like Grand Theft Auto in the Wild West, really, doesn't it?
Because the horses are like driving cars, aren't they?
They are.
Right.
Yeah, I'm playing it like proper, good, honest lawman. I'm not sort of sticking my gun in people's faces, and because when I play Grand Theft Auto, I'm always like, yeah, let's steal a car, let's shoot people, let's run people over. Whereas this, I'm like, I don't know why, but I'm just like Mr. Honest and get my honour up. And
very good of you.
Yeah. But I'll probably play it through and then go back and be a murdering bastard.
When I had it, I used to kind of play it a bit like you, doing the missions, and then you kind of think, okay, well I'm gonna turn it off now. So you make a save.
Yeah.
And then
you go back and play it. Yeah.
Immediately after the save, you start fucking about. You start shooting up towns. I remember once after I'd just done a save, I got on a train and I killed everyone on it, and I killed the driver, and I ended up just sort of like going around. I think the train ended up. Oh, that's right, because it was moving and I killed everyone on it. Literally, I shot everyone on the train just for shit and giggles. And then, of course, the train was still moving around. I thought, that's cool. And I shot the frigging driver. So, of course, the train stopped. And I was in the middle of nowhere with no horse and no money. And, of course, the machine goes off. But, yeah, you can have a giggle on it if you want. But
well, that is the good thing about sandbox games. I know I was saying that. I haven't always been a fan of them. They are, if you just want to turn it on for half an hour and be stupid and randomly kill people, and I just do the same in Skyrim. Walk into a village and kill the bartender and then take on just wipe out the entire village for no real reason.
Exactly. I think when you get through Red Dead, get the undead DLC.
Yes,
that is such good fun.
Yeah, that was in CEX as well. £5, I think. So.
Wait, there's Black Friday coming up this week. There's Law, and it'll be on offer over Christmas on Xbox. They always do. They'll probably give it away for a couple of quid.
Yeah.
Download it to your machine, and you don't have to faff around with boxes and that.
No, that's right. Yeah. So yeah, I'm enjoying that. I mean, my sort of gaming habits. I tend to buy a game, and I will. Blitz it, play it through, and then I move on to the next one. I don't tend to have lots of games on the go. Big games like Red Dead Redemption, So like the game before I had that, I played Enslaved.
What's
played that through. There's another old game from I think it's 2010. It came out. It's an odd game to describe. It's kind of a
It's Monkey, isn't it?
Yeah, Monkey. Yeah. Yes.
So, and all that. Yeah. I think I really enjoyed it. I like the graphics of the demo. But
I sort of played that through, and then when I got rid of that, I got this. So that's the way I tend to do. But I'll have one big game on the go, and then I'll have drop into more sort of pick up and play games whilst I'm doing that. Once I clear this, on to the next one. But
right.
So other games I've been playing.
What else have you been doing?
I've just discovered. I know it's been out a little while, but I've just discovered Scott Pilgrim on the Xbox 360.
Yeah.
Have you played that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got it because PlayStation Plus. About a year ago as part of the monthly deal. In fact, Red Dead Redemption on PlayStation Plus.
Okay.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I played Scott Pilgrim. It was all right. It's okay. I'm not. If you like.
It's basically if someone could have made.
Yeah.
It's a complete and utter tribute to obviously the 8-bit and 16-bit era, and it was like, this is amazing. I absolutely love it.
This you fine.
Yeah, it's kind of almost like the ideal pick up and play game for me. It plays obviously as a scrolling beat 'em up with loads of nods to. I mean, I've never read the comic books. I've seen the movie, but I've never read the comic book, so I'm sure there's loads of references in the game. But it's so much fun, and I really want to play that on multiplayer. I think that'd be amazing.
I've got it on the PlayStation, so I can't really do that with you. Never mind.
Steve's got it, yeah. Steve, we should say, is our sort of the unofficial third person of this podcast, who's going to do the technical stuff, isn't he, of editing it and doing bits and bobs. And if there's some funky intro music, that will be down to Steve.
We've been going for over an hour now. He'll probably turn it into a 30-minute podcast. I don't even think we're halfway through yet, but go on,
yeah. But yeah, Steve will probably pop on now and then. But I'll definitely get on live and give him a game on that. But also playing it sort of on the local. I love playing multiplayer games on the local level. So having a mate round and playing console. In the old-fashioned way. You're both in the living room having a couple of beers. Well, I mean, football games are the best for that, obviously. But
there's a game on Xbox Indie Arcade, or whatever they call it, called Mount Your Friends.
Mount Your Friends?
Now, I'm just going to leave that hanging. I'm going to say to you, your mission for the next time we do this is to play it.
Okay.
And then think about how much fun it would be with 2 or 3 of us and a couple of beers.
Yeah.
And mounting your friends. No,
Trust me. Say you need more than give me a couple of beers to mount me.
So trust me, it's the most amazing. If you've got the ability, stick it while you're talking about your next game. Stick it into YouTube and see what comes up. It's an amazing game. Now I tried to get my son into it, and he's fuck off. This is shit, basically, but. He obviously doesn't appreciate fun. So
I will check it out for next time.
Mount Your Friends on the Xbox Indie. It's like, I think if you buy it, it's like 80p. So,
I love it. I love liking it already.
And there is, I think there's online multiplayer, but anyway, that's a game. But yeah, sorry, mate. Carry on.
That's okay. Next game we're playing on the 360. I've only just downloaded a demo of this so far. Yeah. But it's the sort of the re-released or updated version of Castle of Illusion, Mickey Mouse.
Yeah, I did the demo as well. It's good, isn't it?
It is. Yeah. Did you? Obviously, it was came out on the Mega Drive must have been like 90 or 91.
Yeah.
And it was. I don't know if you remember at the time, but it was almost like Nintendo. Sega's answer to Mario before Sonic came out. Obviously Sonic became the big platformer for the Mega Drive, but prior to that, Castle of Illusion was kind of the big platform game, way back in the early days of the Mega Drive and the Genesis. And so it's a classic. And when I loved it, I had it as a kid. When I had bought a Mega Drive a couple of years back, it was one of the first game cartridges that I rebought because it had a lot of fond memories. So when it came out, I was like, I must play this. And yeah, it's a really good update.
It is good. The demo's it's lovely graphics, isn't it? Really.
Yeah. Crisp. Love. Yeah, brilliant graphics, beautiful and
platformer.
But you can see, platformer. But you can see it's a real homage to the original. You've got all the sort of enemies that they had in the original, like the toadstools and the spiders, the cheeky little spiders. So it's a really, really sort of great update of the original game. But more importantly, the music. I mean, it's the same music, that little chirpy little tune.
Yeah.
So I will definitely be buying the full game of that at some point.
Yeah, I think it's just a little overpriced. I think it was a bit more than the normal, isn't it?
It's $9.99, which.
Oh, all right, maybe it's about the average. Then. Sorry.
Yeah, but if you better to say Scott Pilgrim, which would have been 800 Microsoft points in the old system, this is a bit more than that. 'Cause this is about a third of the price again on top.
Okay, maybe it's not so bad.
It's not bad for a tenner, and that's the kind of game that I can imagine my kids playing as well.
Yeah.
And they're a bit older, obviously. But,
they're never too young or old.
No.
As Ian Watkins would say.
Yes.
Soon.
We won't go down that way.
Sorry.
So Cast of Illusion. Definitely look forward to playing the full version of that fairly soon. Next game I've been playing, which I know you love just as much as I. Just started going back to play Gears of War 3. Again, this is another purchase from Computer Exchange because I had Gears of War 3 and I traded it in probably 6 months or so after it came out, maybe a bit longer. But I bought Gears of War Judgment earlier in the year, and on the day it came out.
You didn't like that, did you?
I didn't. It was a massive disappointment. I mean, it still played okay. It's still got it's obviously still a Gears game, so it's still good. But the thing that let it down was just the multiplayer Horde mode, which I don't know if you did you play it?
Well, Judgment.
Yeah.
No, I never played it.
No, it's
Gears of War 3 was my kind of point where I had enough.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, Gears of War. A lot of people say it's run its course and it's a bit dull now, but for me, Gears of War 3, the Horde mode, playing with 5 players, it's just brilliant, and it's the ultimate kind of pick up and play game. Go on to live after a long day at work, have a couple of beers, and play Gears of War 3. And I've just gone back into the campaign mode and playing it through on hardcore.
Right.
So I completed it on normal originally, and I'm basically going to play it through on hardcore and get all the collectibles and cog tags.
Right. Yeah.
Cool. And then after that, maybe give it a go on Insane. But the Gears of War 1 and 2, I finished on hardcore. I never did them on Insane because it was just ridiculous. So I'm just started that again. I've just come to the end of the first act.
Right.
And the best thing about playing it through again is I've got a much bigger, better telly than I had when I played it like 2 years ago originally. I had a 7-inch telly, and now I've got a 42-inch one. So it's nicer to play it on that. Have you played it since?
No, not really. I have got it, and I think you and I have we've sort of toyed with the fact that we give it a bit of an online blast, and maybe when I get home back Friday or Saturday, week after next, maybe we could. And
there's a lot of achievements you can unlock.
I think I started the campaign mode, maybe did one act, and then that was where it kind of ended. Really, I think I started travelling a lot, 2.5 years ago. So it's probably about the time it came out, wasn't it?
It was. I think it was April. I'm so anorak when it comes to this, but I'm sure it was April 2011 it came out. So
I started this job in April in March 2011.
That'll be mine then.
Kind of tinkered with it, and of course Gears 1 was my, it was a real console making game.
It was. Yeah.
And I put in hours and hours of online, which was amazing in those days because I had 2 very young kids.
Yeah.
So it was kind of, We
used to play it a lot, didn't we?
The maps, yeah.
Yeah.
You, of course, you had the help that one of the characters actually looked like you.
Yes.
Who you were when we were doing
Yeah, Kim, isn't it? Kim, the guy with no hair. Yeah, it does look a bit like me.
Or an egg.
Yeah.
But it's so they were good, and I knew the maps pretty well, and I enjoyed just sort of jumping on with randoms, and I kind of felt at home there because I think it's like it's kind of like a sport, isn't it? Like on online shooters, the more you play, the better you get. So it's like playing a sport, really.
Well, it was the only sort of online multiplayer game that I was ever any good at. And I wouldn't say I was amazing at it, but I'd hold my own. Whereas like Call of Duty and Halo, which were obviously the other two big ones, I was terrible. And I'd just go on, I'd get murdered, and I'd be like, this really isn't fun. You get some 11-year-old kid going, you're a noob. It's not really that fun.
you gotta dedicate your, if you're gonna do online a shooter, it has to
put the hours in.
It has to be the only thing you do. You skip all the other games for 6 months.
Yeah.
You take your time. You become very good. No one cares.
That's right. You miss out on every other game. But Gears, I can, when I get my gold back, which I probably do in the next. I'd certainly do it before Christmas. Get back on there and get back playing Gears again. And
I got some 48-hour codes that I can let you have.
That sounds good.
So if we do hop on over a weekend, or especially over Christmas, maybe...
Yeah, definitely. Well, I've got a couple of weeks off, and I'm sure you got about the same. So.
Yeah.
So anyway, the last game that I've been playing, before we go on to news and other things, is Secret of Mana on the iPhone. Now, Secret of Mana...
What is this? I'm going to look at it. Yeah, go on.
The original Secret of Mana SNES game has got to be one of my favourite games of all time, and that's quite a statement. But I don't know if you remember it at all, but it was a 3-player kind of like Legend of Zelda style top-down view role-play game, a hack and slash kind of role-play game where your characters level up, and it was brilliant back in the day playing it 3-player on the SNES. Me and my brother and one of the mates would come round and. We put the hours into that game, and I've got it on a ROM on my MacBook, and I've been playing that through. But when it came out on the iPhone, I thought, that's a great game to get on the phone when I've got traveling somewhere, or just portable gaming. It'd be great to have this classic and put the hours in. Yeah. So I downloaded it and. Started playing through, and it's visually and sound-wise, it's a very, very accurate replica of the game. But the problem with the iPhone, the controller system is just terrible. Where you've got your controller, and this is, I think, the case with a lot of iPhone games. Your controller and your buttons are on the screen, which is touch screen, and they're not particularly responsive. And it was a letdown really, to play a classic game like that, where not just the controls aren't responsive, but the fact that in order to control the controller, you're obscuring a lot of the screen as well.
Yeah.
And I've got a few other iPhone games, but it's not really for me. That sort of setup.
It's not designed for that.
No.
That media, is it?
It's not. And also as well, it was £6, which is a hell of a lot for an iPhone game.
I was going to say that was my next question. I was like, pay £6 because there's no demos, is there, very often?
No.
And occasionally they do a light version or a free version, but that's a big risk. I mean, because of course we live in a world now where, 10 years ago, £6, way bargain. But nowadays, especially when it comes to iPhone games, it's like, hang on, £1.19. Maybe I'll wait, or do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
69p, which is kind
of. Well, if we compare it, I've just bought Red Dead Redemption for £5.
Yeah, exactly.
£6 for an iPhone game. I mean, it's one of only 2 games that I've actually paid for on my iPhone. The other's been Streets of Rage 2, which again
you don't like. It's probably obscuring the screen.
Yeah, it suffers from exactly the same thing, that you've got the controller on the screen. So I won't be buying any more games like that.
I'll recommend you a game on the iPhone, which I've been playing this week, and I forgot to add. And it's a game called... Sorry, have you finished, by the way? Have you finished?
Yeah, no, it's fine.
It's a game called Flick Kick Legends.
Right.
On the iOS, and it's free. Okay? When I say it's free, it's the freemium, where you kind of, if you want to buy... hey, would you like to buy 3,000 gold for £69? No.
Yeah.
Free on.
That's right.
So, it's kind of...
The basic game's free, but then you get,
They're exploiting stupid people who don't know how to lock out the restrictions. Which,
yes.
So as long as they're paying for me to get the free game, that's fine.
Yeah.
It's designed for the phone. And, in fact, there's another game that I'd recommend to you, which is free to start with. I think you've got to pay like 69p to unlock it. And trust me, you will. They're both football games. So Flick Kick Legends is a football game. If you ever played Flick Kick, free kick, it's like a free kick game where you used to flick the ball into the goal and you bend it around walls.
Yeah, like it's a video when you're a kid. Yeah.
It's the same thing, but what they've done is they've expanded it into a whole game. But it's like old school Legends. So all the players have got huge sideburns and massive afros. Really comical. And you play through leagues now, and you got to try and win games rather than just sort of how many can you flick in the goal before you run out of lives. So it's free. I really recommend it. You should give it a go. You'd like the humour. It's built for the phone, and it costs nothing. So it's well worth checking out.
Okay, I shall give that a consideration.
Yeah, because you probably get it in a minute. And the other game that I've been playing a lot, and this was the game I was playing on the plane when I flew over here.
Right.
And I was getting really angry. And in fact, a few weeks ago, I was playing a game on the plane. And it was a bit of a rough flight, and the woman next to me must have been scared shitless, and she was holding on.
Yeah.
And I let a last-minute goal in. I was playing Pro Evo, and I nudged her with my elbow, and she fucking shrieked. But the game I was playing on the way up here, which I really recommend you should also try on the iPhone, is called New Star Soccer.
Okay.
Do you remember? So basically, I think it's a combination of... Remember a game called Footballer of the Year on the Spectrum? You might not.
No. Spectrum's a bit before my time.
Flick the ball into the goal, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of like that, basic thing. You pull the arrow back to give you your power, and the ball starts rolling across the screen. You've got to press the finger on the ball, whether you bend it left, right, or hit it in the middle or up and down. Like, take a snooker ball shot, and you can sort of screw back, and you hit lower and follow through, and you hit high. It's kind of like that. So that's the basics of the game, but the whole outside the match is based... I would kind of equate it almost to sensible world of soccer.
Okay.
Hundreds of leagues. You start off as a young player in the lower leagues. You get transferred up to the big teams. It's got... I tell you what, I was struggling to find a competition it doesn't have. You can go on, you can play for England in the European qualifiers to the European Championship, World Cup qualifiers to the World Cup. It's huge. It's an amazing game for the price. I think you unlock it for 69p. You can play 5 games for free at the start of the season. If you haven't checked it out, mate, check it out. Great iPhone game.
I will do. I mean, you'll have to send me a list of these games. Otherwise, I will forget.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So anyway, that's.
So that's the games and what we've been up to. And we're about an hour and a bit, 20 minutes into.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Kick us off.
Okay. So we're kind of. I mean, this is. Can't get away from this. If you don't even listen to anything related, you will know that there are new consoles being released this week and last week.
Yeah.
And
kind of an important story.
If you're not a gamer, you will know because you will read reports about people being mugged in the street at midnight carrying 500 quid's worth of equipment around with them. And you're probably thinking, serves you right. We are, because it's more out of jealousy than anything else. No, I didn't pre-order anything, so probably like yourself, because something that's kind of not on my hit list currently, but it will be soon. So the Xbox One I think releases this week.
It's out, yeah. It's been out.
And so I think it's out Friday, Thursday night, Friday morning. The PS3 came out last week. So great kudos from everyone. That's the machine I'm going for from a personal point of view. And the Xbox has been released with a few kind of sticky points. Obviously the run up to the release was not great, and post-release in America, or the areas that do have it at the moment, have been reporting like some disk drive problems, streaming, juddering. So it just kind of powers
teething problems.
Yeah, I think so. They're going to get over them, but for something that costs nearly £100 more than what is, in my opinion, the better machine, willing to any justification for it. So I mean, it's a real big release. I think a new console is a big thing, and to have two of them in a week of each other is freaking crazy.
It is, yeah. They've obviously done it to run up to Christmas. Any kids that get one of those for Christmas have obviously got extremely rich parents.
I hope you get toolboxes, you bastards.
Yeah, that's right. Motherfucker.
So, it's an expensive bloody Christmas present. I mean, like £400 entry price, whichever machine you're going for, at minimum, really, once you've bought a game or whatever.
It is a lot, but putting my retro hat back on,
the
Mega Drive, when that came out, was £300, and that's in 1990. So, these things drop down quickly, don't they?
Relative to the current time, but again, dropping that sort of amount right now is probably not quite. I like to buy bundles and packs, and I don't see there's anything worth, because you're not. There isn't a massive launch title. The machine. It's just more. Here's more FIFA. Here's more Madden.
Yeah.
Here's more Forza.
More Call of Duty.
More Call of Duty. Here's another Assassin's Creed. Oh, Battlefield. Do you know what I mean? So it's rehashed stuff. So there's real big
thing. Yeah. I mean, you're going to go with the PS4. I mean, I don't know which of the two, if any, I will go for. And this might be the first generation of console that I don't get very quickly. I mean, I've never been one to get a console when it first came out, because I always like to see
just sit back,
what's going to happen, and what games are going to come out, and developers need time to get used to programming the new machine. So you never get your classic titles within the first couple of months of the system coming out.
That's very true.
So, I mean, obviously, it's unusual for consoles to come out this close to each other. I don't think they've ever come out within a week of each other before. I mean,
well, I know, because the last release, I was remembering the other day, the PS3 came out nearly a year later.
Yeah.
Well, in the UK anyway, and it was a lot more money.
It was. I mean, I've been Xbox for the last two generations, but although I did have a PS2, but I got an Xbox as well. But this generation, the 360s, I've had from the start, and I got that probably about a year, maybe just under a year after it was launched. When I think Gears of War might have been, no, it was Oblivion was the game that made me go, yeah, I need to get this console. And then Gears came out fairly soon after, and then obviously from then on you're like, yeah.
All right. Thinking, what game did I get with mine? I got table tennis. So, thinking back to what I mentioned earlier about the first game I played, I got this Atari and I played Pong. So I'm waiting for the table tennis title before I jump in.
That's right, yeah, table tennis. Like PS4, that'd be amazing. No, but seriously, I will be waiting at least until this time next year before I make a decision. I know that, and I can't drop £400 on a console at the moment, at all. But a year down the line, we'll know what games, and it could be either or. At the moment, if you were to twist my arm and say which one would I go for, I think at the moment the PS4.
I mean, I think you can get. I've seen release prices of £350, isn't it?
Yeah.
Game, and And the added advantage in my world with having an extended family is the fact that we can all share the online. None of us really play online gaming. We have PS Plus, or what's it called? No, PlayStation, which will allow for online gaming anyway. But I can share that around the family now. You don't have to. At the moment, my kids sound like sport brats, but they can't play online Minecraft with each other because I'd have to buy another Xbox Live account.
Yeah.
My daughter, I'm not prepared to do it. Especially if they're too young. They should be doing it anyway. But
No.
and the fact that they watch YouTube, you need an Xbox Live Gold account to watch YouTube, to watch Netflix.
Yeah.
PlayStation 4, you don't need that. It's cheaper. All the stuff that I do on it is free. Yeah, if you're a Battlefield or Call of Duty player, you might go for Xbox One because all your mates are on it. But it's a kind of a personal thing, I suppose.
If there turns out to be a Gears of War on the Xbox One, and it's as mind blowing as the original Gears was when that came out on the 360, that might swing it for me. Because
Titanfall, isn't it? Is that what it's called? They say that's the kind of mech shooter that's going to change the.
What was that, sorry?
I think it's called Titanfall.
Okay, yeah, Titanfall, yeah. I don't know a great deal about it, but yeah, it does look
kind of
awesome.
A combination of mix between the two, yeah, Halo and Gears to me.
Mm.
But again, it's just a lot of those shooters, and maybe we're getting older. I just don't appreciate because it's just bang, crash, wallop, 12-year-old.
Well, they're very throwaway. You play it through, you complete it, you get your achievements, and then you trade it in. And there's a lot of modern games are like that. I mean, I still go back and play games from 20 years ago, and they've still got that playability now.
Yeah.
Gears of War is great for me because it is one of the few modern games I will just go back and play.
It's a classic album.
Yeah.
Call it like that, can't you? It's one that's going to and have a little soft space in your.
That's right. And as I said way back at the start of the podcast, I don't buy games when they first come out. There are so many games from the 360 that I have not played yet. Classic games. We talked about Fallout 3 earlier. I need to play that. There's dozens of games. I go into CEX. I could walk out with 20 games if I wanted to. So by the time I've played through all the games on the 360, we're going to be talking years down the line. I think. I don't mean every single game. That'd be ridiculous. But all the classic games that you'd want to play. And I just think the 360's life is going to be much more of an overlap between the two generations than we've seen before.
Yeah. No.
Whereas before, a year, 2 years, really.
Yes.
The developers lose interest in the old generation and things fizzle out. I know the PS2 ran for years, didn't it?
But I was still making it up to about a year ago.
Yeah.
A new version of it. But...
No, that's right. I mean, there has been some overlap before, but I think the 360 generation will continue for a long time. I think because
that's true. I think because like in the old days, if we were to you buy a PlayStation 2, you buy boxed games, and it will last forever. Whereas Xbox 360, a lot of the games I've bought, and I don't know about yourself, is digitally downloaded.
Yeah.
Store and Xbox Live.
Yeah.
And I need it to stay live. I can't unhook that machine from the internet and play it comfortably.
No, that's right. I mean, I have a lot of games that are still discs. I know what you mean. Eventually, when it becomes obsolete, you are going to lose a library of games. But I can't see it happening anytime soon. So hopefully things will carry on. But as I say, it's going to be at least a year.
How did you feel when you first heard that? I know it didn't end up that way, but when you first heard that the Xbox One was going to be discless, they were going to have digital downloads only for all the games. There was a point in time when that was on the table, wasn't it?
It was, and obviously they were trying to get rid of the secondary market of games.
Yeah.
And for someone like me who almost all of my gaming purchases are when they're in the physical format of discs are, second-hand copies for the price reason,
Yeah.
It was straight away. It's like, if that's going to be the case, then I definitely won't be getting this console. So it was a massive PR misstep, wasn't it, with Microsoft?
Hilarious. I'd already made, even before, I think it was E3, wasn't it, that gaming show where they launched the new products. I'd already made my decision I wasn't going to go with Xbox, whatever it was. Whether it was the best thing since sliced nuts, I wasn't even going to go there because I'd already kind of transitioned myself over to PlayStation. And the fact that, it cost me less to get an equal experience, in my opinion. So mine's all based on cost a little bit, which sounds a bit tossy, but
no, it doesn't. I mean, there's no point in spending 100 extra quid on something that isn't really going to do that much more.
But what I did like, and this is the way I see things going, especially with my move into the Steam environment, because I own on Steam right now 41 games.
41 games, yeah.
And none of them are physical. Do you know what I mean? They're all, I own the digital license for 41 games. And of course, that's going to follow me now for forever. As long as the service is available.
Yeah.
Oh, I could be fucked.
That's the thing with digital. You're always reliant on the service, aren't you? At the end of the day.
Everywhere, and I can have it multiple places. Whereas, I suppose the Xbox scenario you can't naturally. But okay. Anyway, that's big news for this week. I mean, what a week to start kind of doing this.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that wasn't the reason for doing it. It was just coincidence, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
We've talked about it on and off for a little while, but no, definitely. But you're clearly more likely to get the PS4 before I even consider. So you can tell me how amazing it is.
Well, if I ever get to see it, and that's kind of the things holding me back. My current lifestyle means that I might drop 400 quid on a box and then I'll see it for a couple of days and I won't see it for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So that's holding me back a little bit, but I'm sure there's millions of people out there who are snapping them up. Not quite.
Well, I'm sure there are, and there's there's millions of podcasts about people talking about how amazing they are, but we do something a little bit different, aren't we?
It's stuck in the past.
Yeah.
A little.
So
they're gradually coming there. Yeah. But, okay.
Got any more news for us?
Well, not really. No, it was mostly just about just have a quick chat about the huge release and what we're planning to get if we had, like, we both had a check for 500 quid. My check's nailed on the PlayStation, and and all the people that I would technically be sort of friends with, I suppose you could say, in inverted commas, kind of leaning that way. Now, don't know about yourself or Steve, because I don't think any of us are planning to get one.
Well, as I said, if you said you've got to choose now which one you would get, I would go down the PS4 route. But I can't say I'll never get one or the other, but I have an inkling that this is the generation where I might start to drift away from modern gaming. I don't think I'll ever drift away from gaming as a whole, but I know Steve is the same. There's a lot of Steve's obviously a big Xbox 360 gamer, like we both are, but I know he's thinking that there's a lot of 360 games that he still needs to play, and obviously he's got a very young young little one, even younger than ours. So
exactly. So his timing, he's going to find handheld. It's going to be the way to go.
Yeah, that's right. So I won't say that I'll never get one, because who knows? But I would say that it's going to be at least a year really before I step it up, as it were. Cool.
Okay, so that's about it really. I was going to talk about the Humble Bundle, but I've already talked about that, so we can move on. So you can give us some news.
Yeah. So retro gaming news. There's a few little stories. The first one is an interesting story about a UK retailer basically getting in a little bit of trouble because they're offering ROM-based retro game cartridges. Don't know if you've heard about this story much, but it's a company called Fun Stock.
Yeah.
And they've announced a range of retro game cartridges that work with the original console hardware. And it's a disc basically containing
everything.
Everything, yeah.
Yeah, I haven't read it, but I imagine it's everything. Yeah.
Yeah. That's right. And obviously you can't really do that because
no.
In the legal way of things, you're only supposed to have ROMs for games that you legally own already.
Or expired and it's freeware, is that right?
Yeah.
I think I saw the other day, like on a website, you can get like Championship Manager, like 97, 98, or like one of those original sort of Football Manager games for free. Now I'm give them away. They stop supporting it, have it. So I think they're all right, but yeah, you're right. You can't do this. That's for sure.
No. I mean, we all have ROMs. I know, and all the ROMs that I've got are basically of games that I had back in the day. So you paid your license to it, haven't you? At some point, in a way, if you look at it like that.
Yeah.
But obviously. It's a bit of a minefield, and I think when Nintendo and Sega get hold of that, they could be in a bit of trouble, really. Especially Nintendo, who love to sue everybody.
Well,
on top of a hat.
Because I remember the R4 cards. That I see there's a link there about R4 card DS. I've had a couple of those over the years, and I think they were deemed legal at one point by the one judge, quite clearly drunk, and amazed me. And yeah, you can, from if you're giving a DS to a kid, and you don't want them to swap in and out the cartridges, and you don't want to spend 40 quid on something they play for 2 minutes, then it's a naughty way to go, and I don't really do it anymore. But I've been down that route in the past.
Yeah,
things are
basically these are game cartridges that you stick in your old.
See, one of them, the one at the front, is an N64 cartridge.
It is, yeah. So you've got N64, you've got Mega Drive / Genesis, SNES, and the NES.
Yeah, I can see. Just slot them in the top of the box, and there's a menu, and you choose the game, and off you go. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, I can see there's definitely a market for it, and I'm sure they'll do some business out of it. But it's a bit of a tricky one.
Gee, yeah, that is a bit.
But if people out there want to get it, get every Mega Drive game or every SNES game on one cartridge, because obviously the memory of these games are tiny, aren't they? In modern.
I have been partial to the odd ROM on a Mega Drive in the past, and the bloody games are only about
a meg, aren't they?
2 megs, and you can fit. The size of memory these days, you can have everything on. Yeah, so I can see how that's possible.
So if anyone's interested in that, it's Fun Stock. We're not advocating it, but if that floats your boat, you can check it out.
Very interesting.
I'd be interested if anyone does get one, what it's like. But
you obviously got to have an old Mega Drive to plug it into the top of. Now I have an old SNES.
Yeah, I
don't know if it works.
So. I've got an N64. It's the only vintage console that I've got. I mean, I've had them on and off.
It is an N64. Yeah, I've got an old N64 as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got one of those.
So I love the old consoles, but a lot of the games now you can get by other means, and but they're not hard to get hold of. Well, not hard to get hold of at all. You pick them up on a car boot sale on a Sunday morning for a couple of quid.
People are just giving them away.
Yeah, that's right. And on eBay, there's always them going for 10 or so. But it'd be nice to. I've never been willing to actually collect the sort of vintage hardware as such, but it would be quite cool to.
Thing that you might, because you're the old collector of
of all things old and vintage. Yeah, it could happen. It could happen. It's something as great as it is playing ROMs. It's a better experience.
Yeah.
You know, shoving it into your telly and tuning it in because with the old RF switches. And blowing on the cartridge when it doesn't work, sticking it in the machine.
Your telly's too nice now. You'll plug in one of these old machines and it'll look awful.
Well, I've got an old telly, you see, and I did have a.
Yeah, you need a CRT really to play it with any decent quality.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't play it on my a big screen telly. It would just look very weird. But I mean, I've got stuff like the Sega Mega Drive collection on 360. So that's got 40 of the best Mega Drive games on there. But when it's like obscure stuff or stuff that is never likely to get re-released, it's nice to have the original cartridges. But
yeah,
I think it'd be something I probably will do at some point. Knowing me, if I see something old and nostalgia starts tugging at my heartstrings, I wouldn't rule it out. But, so yeah. Anyway, that's the ROM.
Yeah.
ROMs from Fondstock. The next sort of vintage story is a Game Boy Flash cartridge that is coming out. You seen this story?
No, what's this one?
Basically, the Game Boy fans of the original Game Boy can now get the entire library of portable Nintendo games on the Game Boy EverDrive, or EDGB as its code name suggests, and it's a flash cartridge and it's due for release in the near future.
As well, or is it like the other one?
What's that, sorry?
Is it a legal cartridge, or how does it?
I think, I mean, from reading from the news article, it appears to be legal, which is interesting. There's no sort of controversy about it in the news article. It's basically, it's obviously going to be packed with ROMs again, but that's quite a thing because the Game Boy still has a lot of love out there.
Massive. Yeah, I mean, I've recently been playing Mario. Crikey, which one was it? I think it's on the Game Boy Advance, and that's just a cracking game, timeless game. And there's a lot of those types of games on this Game Boy, isn't there? So yeah. Yeah,
well, it has a lot of sort of cult love for the Game Boy, and they have every single game.
Yeah,
every single Game Boy game on one cartridge.
Yeah. Good for journeys then.
yeah, definitely. But you need a buttload of AA batteries. Do you remember how bad that thing used to eat AAs out?
I've never owned one ever. I've never had one.
You've never owned a Game Boy?
No. I don't. Something that passed me by. And I had a PSP, but that was and DSs, but never a Game Boy.
I did have one back in the day. It used to get about maybe 4 hours of battery life from 4 AA batteries.
Really?
So I was forever plugged into all. And going back to talking about retro consoles, if I do buy a retro console, that would probably be the one I would get first.
Right.
Because Super Mario, Tetris.
Tetris.
Yeah, it's obviously everyone knows. And I definitely had one. I think it was probably about the same time I had the Mega Drive. Really early on. It used to be like 70 quid back in the day.
Was it kind of like the first handheld, wasn't it? Really, that took off and exploded.
First one took off, yeah. It was definitely the first ever handheld. As far as I'm aware. And then obviously the Atari Lynx came out, didn't it? And the Game Gear, which had the colour screens, but really ate the batteries up even worse than the Game Boy.
Well, of course, it would do. Yeah, because of course nowadays it's all built-in batteries and you charge them overnight, don't you? Really? So quite handy to have to faff around. But yeah, I suppose technology wasn't there in those days. So, it looks really good, mate. It looks really good.
I could see myself very tempted.
Is there a cost on it, or do you know?
There's no price at all at the moment, on no release date either.
Okay.
But from the news article, they suggest it must be nearing completion. So we shall watch this space and hopefully have an update at some point. But got one more news story, retro related.
Yeah.
And this one's one I'm quite excited about.
Okay.
There is Kickstarter project. You know what Kickstarter? Yeah. Basically, a Kickstarter project seeking funding for a Mega Drive history book, and it's basically a huge book to celebrate the 25th anniversary of the Mega Drive, the Genesis, and it's going to contain a wealth of information, never seen before documents.
Pause you there. It's only been out for 24 years. In my life, because 25 years ago, a toolbox got released.
It wasn't quite as playable.
24 years, as far as I'm concerned.
So there'll be loads of scans of sort of box art and development sketches and concept art, construction, and all those sort of things. And I'm a real nerd for that kind of stuff. And not too long ago, do you remember the magazine Me Machines?
Yeah.
I bought. There was an eBay auction of about 30 issues of Me Machines.
Okay.
And I was like, I need to have that. I ended up picking it. I think it was about 18 quid I paid for it, which isn't bad really for 30 odd magazines. And just reading through all the old articles and all the old box art and everything like that. And I love to have those kind of coffee table book sort of guides where you just pick up, have a little browse through.
Toilet book.
Toilet books. Yeah, I was being polite.
Coffee table.
No, but bring your friends round. But I really hope this gets made, and it's looking like it's going to, because they need to raise £30,000, what they're looking at.
Mm-hmm.
And as of the 12th of November, they had hit 20,000, and the cut-off date was December 9th.
Okay.
So, I mean, I don't know what the current total is. If I was, a bit more thorough and professional, I could have probably researched it prior to this. But I'm guessing if they haven't hit it by now, that they will probably hit it soon.
It looks like it's already it's been hit, mate. I've just clicked on the link.
Yeah.
I'm not understanding it. It's the first time I've ever been into this page. It says 1.5 thousand backers, so 1,500 backers.
Yeah.
72,230 pledged a total of.
There you go.
So does that mean it's been hit?
It's hit. It's hit. It's going in production.
And it's more than doubled what they wanted.
Yeah.
There you go.
So this is.
How does Kickstarter work then? Do those people who pledge get a free copy of the book when it comes out, and then?
Yeah. They're basically playing for the right to get the book. So the £25 ones, get a copy of the book only, but that's all gone. So now you can pledge £30 and get your book. Your name will be added to the book as a benefactor. And so, do you know what? I think I'm going to have to get this because
excellent.
The Mega Drive was my favourite of the two. I love the SNES as well, but the Mega Drive was my favourite because it was one I got first, and I just had a lot of love for that, and I think I'm going to have to get this. But hopefully, there'll still be some of those £30 ones, because I don't think I could pledge 60 really, or 80.
Well, yeah. Okay. Oh, there's another one. What's this? Sensible Software. I mean, I love Sensible Soccer, and
So it'll just be awesome.
It's really good. Looks really good, mate.
Yeah. So definitely worth checking out if you are a fan of all things Mega Drive related.
But
yeah, 13 days left to go. So
when do they do? Do they start making the book now, and then that'll come out sometime next year, or?
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't know the timescale of it, but I would suggest that once the cut-off date ends and on the 9th, then they'll start getting into production and stuff. And I guess it's I guess it'll be out sometime next year.
Yeah, it looks real good. Yeah,
but Kickstarter stuff. I mean, in my sort of other sort of geekness with the toys and the collectible toys and stuff, it's stuff they do. They do a lot of Kickstarter stuff for collectible toy lines. But this is probably the first ever Kickstarter project where I've actually thought, I need to get involved in this. So fingers crossed I can. Next time we meet, I can say, hey, yeah.
Cool. Well, you have to put some pickies on, show us some pics on Facebook and stuff.
Yeah, well, I'm sure it'll be a while before it comes out, but definitely.
Yes.
So that's
okay.
That's the last sort of news story that I've got, really.
Okey-doke.
On to you with your.
So I've got a little tech tip, really, and I think it's I've been talking a lot about Steam and and people think playing computer games, video games on PCs is all about leaning over keyboards and these crippled hands doing these controls of WASD is to move and the E is to open this and bollocks. It's all that bollocks. If you're an online gamer on Battlefield, then you're going to need to do it because they say the keyboard and mouse is more responsive than the controller, isn't it? So you're going to get your arse owned to you if you're going to go online. But I use a controller. I use a PS3 controller because they are USB powered. So not only I discovered it by actually using the PC to charge the controller one day, and it kind of dawned on me. It was about a couple of years ago. It kind of dawned on me, maybe I could, it's plugged into the PC. I wonder if it'll work. And there's a piece of software that'll make it work. Blow me if I haven't forgotten the name of it, but let me bring it up.
That might be handy.
So, right. So let me just open it up on my machine, and I'll give you the full. So it's called Motion Enjoy Gamepad Tool. Okay. If you were to Google that and just download the small bit of software that comes with it, you basically it will emulate an Xbox 360 controller,
right?
PS3 controller, on your PC. So if you've got yourself a PS3 and a controller, you'll probably cable because you need to charge them. Okay. So in which case it will work on the PS3. So for games, I'm playing like the Pinball and the Fallouts and the Batmans, I'm playing it with a PS3 controller, and it actually comes with the added advantage because it's Bluetooth.
Right.
So all I can do is just do the Bluetooth pair between my laptop and my Xbox, my PS3 controller, and voila, and no cables. I just press a button and they sync together, and away I go.
Sweet.
Absolutely fantastic. So of course this has enabled me, Pro Evolution Soccer, anything like that. I'm experiencing all this with a PS3 controller. So just if anyone was thinking of how a console gamer has moved so rapidly into PC life, it's been aided with this.
Yeah. That is, I must admit, that's some. Apart from the fact I don't own a PC, I've got a Mac, but part of the sort of obstruction to PC gaming has always been the fact, keyboard and mouse, and I've never been into like World of Warcraft or any of that sort of bollocks where that is kind of that the archetypal kind of PC point game, but that's kind of cool. That's good. I had no idea you could do that. So
if you think you can get yourself a really decent gaming machine for less than £300 these days, and I'm talking, really good spec that will play everything that, and nearly in 9 times out of 10 the big games come out for PC as well as the consoles, and 9 times out of 10 they're better because they graphically haven't had any challenges to hold them back. Also, the current next-gen consoles that have been released this week are stuck with the hardware for the next 4 or 5 years. PC, you pull out the graphics card, whack a new one in, upgrade
Sure. Yeah.
Upgradable, it's like a bloody RoboCop, isn't it? So, I mean, it doesn't stay static, but you can certainly get yourself a really good gaming experience. And of course, sometime next year, there's going to be something called the Steam Box.
Okay.
It's kind of going to be available to plug into your TV.
Yeah.
Moving the PC gaming environment into
the console. Yeah.
The console world. So it's definitely coming. With if I bought one and plugged it in, I'd have 50+ games immediately. High quality games on the big screen. I can see how it would can be a challenger, but of course the entry price is the thing that nobody knows. It could be 400 quid, and everyone goes stick two fingers up at it. But
yeah.
But either way, PC games.
It'd be interesting either way. You have to have a new competitor in the market.
Yeah, definitely. Because so obviously your controllers can be used on PCs. Very good. So and I've also seen that there's an Xbox 360 controller can also be used on a PC. But you need to buy this little dongle thing that plugs into the PC, and I had one back in the day, and it broke. And I read online they're prone to breaking, so they're not very sturdy.
Do you know what USB controller I use on Mac?
Go on.
It's a replica of a SNES gamepad. It's brilliant.
Like they fall out with that.
Yeah, I don't think it would work quite so well. It's okay for playing SNES ROMs.
But, yeah. Well, I'll show you this one day when we get together, and how I actually experience my games on the road, how I have the ability to play just like you, and I don't have this mouse and keyboard crippled finger look. So,
oh yeah, the old hunchback look. Yeah.
With plug into the telly as well. But yeah, Motion Enjoy gamepad tool is what it is. Quick down, plug in your controller, set it up, and away you go. It's very easy. There's a YouTube tutorial, and it'll be fine. So.
Awesome. That's a good little technical tip.
Tip there, yeah, and kind of my other tip, which isn't really a tip, but it's kind of just this Friday, I think it is Black Friday, which
it is, yeah.
For any bargains and anything, there's a couple of things that have taken my eye. I think they're doing the Lego bundle for about £9.50. So that's Lord of the Rings Lego. Now, this is free, mind you, so before you get too excited.
Yeah.
Lego Lord of the Rings, Lego Batman 2, and 2 Harry Potter games for £9.
Wow.
That's pretty decent. And I'm just about to get as well, when I can get on a decent Wi-Fi, to download 9 gigs worth of, about 6 gigs worth of gaming. I've actually got the Steam code for Lego Marvel.
Oh yes, I really want to play that.
Yeah, no, I've got the code, but I can't. I could download it, but I might get it for the weekend here because I'm in Russia over the weekend.
Oh yeah, okay.
Get the vodka in, download. I'll leave my laptop on Friday night downloading it, and Saturday and Sunday I might give Lego Marvel a blast. But yeah, I've got the code.
I'll definitely be getting that. 360.
You know how I got the code? This is all. I suppose if my boss is okay with it. When I travel, I earn hotel reward points.
Yeah.
Okay, and because I stay in Russia, the hotels I'm staying here for 12 nights. This hotel costing me £2,400.
Wow. Well, not costing you personally,
no.
But
costing the company. So a lot of money. And of course, the more you spend in these types of hotels, the more reward points you get. So I've got, I had actually, because I've been spending a lot of them, but I peaked at about 70,000 points the other week, and I'm on like a platinum member now. But I thought, oh great, I spend all my week in hotels. Oh great, I can have free weekends in hotels. That's the last thing I bloody want. So I went onto the website and I found out about a month ago that I can download video games using my points. Steam games.
Sweet.
And Lego Marvel is only going to cost me 8,000 points. So, hence, I'm going to pick that up.
Yeah.
have a look at it. I'm earning 33,000 from being in here these 2 weeks, so it's a mere drop in the ocean.
Yeah, definitely. No, as I say, it's definitely. I haven't played a Lego game since I think Lego Batman was the last one I played. So I played the Star Wars ones, Indy and Batman. But Marvel's, I've seen a Marvel game in action. I was like, yeah, I need to get this.
So, yeah, that's probably going to be on my gaming list when we do this, whenever that may be.
Yeah, sure.
But yeah, no, that's about it really. So in terms of sort of tips and sort of what to look out for, I think that last bit is merely for you.
Yeah.
By the time this reaches you, iTunes, and if anybody ever listened to it, it would probably be Black Friday 2015.
Yeah.
Just a little backstory. Rob and I used to be in a band, and with the person who may be editing this, and we were very incredibly lazy, weren't we? We had some great ideas. We never kind of got round to really doing it.
No, this will see the light of day. It's not too difficult to get it up and running, but it may be. We're recording this on 26th of November, so hopefully we can get it out within the next week or so.
So we got the point of when we started. The new generation consoles come out on the week before Black Friday, so
yeah,
we can certainly pinpoint it to when do we. Yeah, there we go. Some tips.
Cool.
More.
Well, okay. Well, last thing before we round off this debut podcast, what we'd like to do each week is one of us will do a quick spotlight on a particular game that holds some sort of significance for them, and I'm going to have a look at on this first episode at a game I briefly mentioned earlier, and that is Streets of Rage 2, which I had back in the early 90s. It came out in January 93 in Europe on the Mega Drive / Genesis. It came out a little bit earlier the previous month in America, so December 92. But yeah, I had this pretty much when it came out. I don't think I got it on launch day, but I definitely had it. I was one of the first kids, if not the first, in my class at school to get it. And I remember.
Was it on the Mega Drive?
On the Mega Drive, yeah. Right. And I'm sure anyone who's listening to this will know the game, but it's a 2-player scrolling beat 'em up where you've got a selection of 4 characters. And obviously it was a sequel to the original Streets of Rage, which in itself was a pretty groundbreaking game because it was the first decent scrolling beat 'em up on the Mega Drive. I mean, Golden Axe was good, but it was it was an arcade port, so it wasn't specifically designed for the Mega Drive. Whereas the first Streets of Rage was the first one to come out and be worth getting. So yeah, me and my brother used to love playing this.
What was the general kind of? Was it kind of like a princess has been kidnapped and you have to beat your way through millions of people before you can rescue her? Was it kind of that storyline, like the Mario? Or
no, well it was a
behind it.
You're basically the main 2 characters were a guy called Axel and a girl called Blaze, and they were ex-cops. Basically, this guy, Mr. Big, had taken over the city, and the cops weren't doing anything about it, so they left the force and took it on themselves to basically kick the shit out of everybody and take it down. And in the sequel, in the original game, it's those 2 and another guy called Adam. And Adam gets kidnapped at the start of Streets of Rage 2. So you're basically... in a way, I suppose he's the princess you have to rescue. Because you've got his younger brother called Skate, who's like a 12-year-old kid with rollerblades on, who's like really nimble and quick. And then this huge, great, bulking wrestler called Max, who looks, like something out of WWF. And you can select the 4 players. So it was only a 2-player game, but there was 4 selectable characters. And each had a sort of strengths and weaknesses. So Max was like massively strong, had really awesome moves. It was really, really slow. Skate was really, really quick, but pretty puny, and his moves were not as powerful. Although he did an awesome move where he'd basically jump on someone's shoulders and then punch them in the face, which was quite cool.
Right.
And Blaze and Axel were sort of somewhere in between. I always used to play as Axel because he had a really cool sort of uppercut move.
Right. Yeah.
Towards and punch. Knuckle. So it was 2-player. Used to play with my brother loads because obviously in those days you get a lot more life out of the game because you couldn't save anything, could you? Stuff.
Yeah, because of course the Mega Drive was notorious for being fucking balls hard games, no save points, and so yeah, you did, and harder to complete because you had to kind of start again every time you took it out and put it back in, didn't you? I think towards the end of the Mega Drive, or maybe middle when it was very popular, some games started coming with built-in saves, didn't they?
They did, yeah. Mainly sort of the role-play games, but obviously the SNES did it much earlier. Like the Zelda 3, which was one of the first SNES games to come out, had a built-in save.
Yeah.
On it, but yeah, the likes of the Streets of Rage didn't have that, so it would probably play, I don't know, maybe 90 minutes to play it through. But when you've got to play it through from the start every time,
yeah,
the sort of achievement of getting past each level, it's like I remember friends coming round and we'd take turns, and each level someone would swap round and stuff, and it was a great game to play. But yeah, I mean, basically came out on the Mega Drive. It also came out on the Game Gear and the Master System. Was the more trimmed down version of it, and it's one of those classic games that's been re-released loads of times. It's in Xbox Live, PlayStation Network. It's on iOS as well, but I wouldn't recommend it because it's got the stupid control system, which we were moaning about earlier. And it's on the Sega Mega Drive collection as well that you can get on the PlayStation and the Xbox, along with Streets of Rage 1 and Streets of Rage 3. So it's got a lot of love. Is it a game that you ever played?
No, well, I may have done, but I think I was more of a Golden Axe person back in the days. So I kind of probably looked at this. Was there another? I'm just trying to think. There's another game similar. Was it
Alien Storm?
Double
Dragon, yes. This is that kind of game, yeah. Double Dragon, a Final Fight,
Yeah.
But the bosses, all the enemies had so much character, and you weren't just fighting the same bad guy one after another. There was loads of different things. You had, big fat sumo guys that could breathe fire, and robots, and
loads of character, yeah.
Loads of rip-off characters from like Street Fighter and stuff. There's a blatant sort of Blanca rip-off on the end of one of the levels, one of the bosses, and all the bosses were really, really sort of quirky, and one guy with a jetpack, and
yeah. I suppose back in the day though, these types of games were only before this were really only played in arcades, weren't they?
Yeah.
At this graphical level as well. So games were kind of, this is one of the first eras where you could play your arcade in your living room, couldn't you, or in your bedroom? Do you know what I mean? The only I remember the fair used to come to Pennington. Do you remember?
Yes.
Up the common, and the only sort of exposure I got to games of this kind of quality and loudness as well was up into the arcade.
Yeah, it really was an arcade game.
Yeah, but kind of in the way that this type of game, I remember it as being sort of today's first-person shooter genres, because there's so many of them, weren't there, back in the day?
There were.
This was the cream of the crop, I would imagine.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you could argue, some people would say maybe Final Fight. But that I think, if I remember correctly, when that was ported to the console, it was only one player. I mean, Double Dragon was the first, Double Dragon and Golden Axe, but on the actual console games, Streets of Rage was the runner really. And Streets of Rage 2 improved on the original. The graphics were bigger. You had all the characters had loads of moves. I mean, they had loads of special moves, and you could grapple people and sort of jump over them and then smash them into the ground behind or throw them at enemies. There's loads of weapons in it as well. Each of the characters had their own moves, and there's 4 characters, so there was a lot of options there. And then obviously the sequel came out. I think it was maybe it was about 95, quite late in the Mega Drive's era, and then it all got a bit silly then. And one of the characters was like a robot and stuff. It didn't quite work as well. So this was the best of the 3, definitely. And it's a game I still play now. I've got it on the Xbox. Bizarrely, twice. I've got it. I downloaded it from Xbox Live when it first came out, but I've also got it on the Mega Drive collection.
No.
And I've got it on the iPhone.
I know what you mean. Occasionally a game will come along, and you have to get every format. For some reason. I did that with The Walking Dead. The sort of.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Not
the Telltale.
I have that. This is so sad. I have it on the Xbox, the PlayStation Network, the PC, and the iPhone.
Wow. And have you completed it on all of them?
Right, and this is the honest truth. I paid for, and I've only ever played episode 1.
Oh my god!
But I have played episode 1 on the Xbox, on the PC, and on the iPhone. I played on it.
You need to play that game through.
Maybe that's a time we'll talk about that another time. Maybe when I actually start playing it. But there are occasionally a game like Streets of Rage for you and Walking Dead for me that pop up that you have to get, or you obtain a version. I've never paid full price.
No,
but yeah,
Streets of Rage is a little bit of video game history, and it's one of those games that I can just go back.
Yeah.
Whenever my brother is down for the weekend, we'll have a few beers and play Streets of Rage. It's just great.
Sounds like a great game. So if you were to put how many hours over the years do you reckon you've given this? Do you reckon this is the game you've played the most out of?
Gosh,
all of your...
that's a tricky one. Do you know? Probably it is. I mean, obviously, modern games now with the likes of Skyrim and stuff, you can throw
100 hours easily.
Yeah.
That's just curious, isn't it? And would you go back?
Yeah. So, will it go back to a Skyrim? I don't know.
But pick up and play that this has, is it? So that's...
Yeah, it's going to be either this or Street Fighter 2, I'd say.
Okay.
But we won't go into Street Fighter because we'll be here all day. So.
Another time. Excellent.
So yeah, that's Streets of Rage 2, and let's say each week we'll do a little bit of a spotlight and our sort of personal memories of a particular game, and maybe you can pick one next time.
Yeah, and then maybe I'll pick one that you haven't played, and you can or whatever. Oh, I've got a few ideas.
Yeah.
Things I might not have seen over the years.
Sweet.
Like Football Director on the VIC-20.
We've won games that some people have heard of, not.
It was a VIC-20. Probably. So. Okay.
Okay. Well, I think we'll come to an end there, shall we?
Yeah, because it's it's 10:30 here. So.
Yeah, well, it's only 6:30.
Yeah.
but no, that was episode 0, shall we say, of Control Zone video game podcast. I'm sure if this becomes a regular thing, we'll set up some sort of contact on maybe Facebook or Twitter so that we can be a bit of interactive with people.
Yeah, maybe one day we may even have a website because we know a bit of a guru in that genre, don't we? So maybe then.
But yeah, hopefully this will be a regular thing, and we can try and get something out. Maybe weekly if we can. Hopefully.
Yeah.
But so for now, if anyone wants to get hold of you, how can they do
that? They can't. Fuck off.
Yeah.
No. Just
they can find you on Xbox, can't they?
Xbox Live, PlayStation Network, or Steam under Ricky32.
Cool. And as for me, as I say, you can find me on Xbox Live, ZKillerFrog, or you can find me on Twitter, PredaKing79.
I'm on Twitter as well. What's my thingy? I don't really do it very much.
You don't know what your Twitter is.
Actually, It's Rick32 on Twitter.
Yeah.
I seem to have a bit of the, I bet there's plenty of other Ricky32s in the world again. Can't use that. Geezer's got it, and I've got the lot. I was like, I bought every domain. So yeah, Ricky32 on Twitter, I am as well.
Yeah, so yeah, you can find us on Twitter, and I've also got a YouTube channel for my, other geeky stuff, which is Predicting 79, but that's all sort of retro toy reviews and things. So if that's not something that interests you, then ignore that. But yeah, it's been episode 0, and hopefully first of many.
Yep. All right. Okay. Well, thank you very much. Later. Bye.
Bye.